Last week we asked a question about how you eat macaroni and cheese with a spoon or a fork, and it was wildly controversial.
Really?
Wait,
I
no,
use a
you
fork, or sorry, a fork or a spoon. I use a spoon or a fork. I would never think to use a spoon for macaroni and cheese.
okay.
This is interesting. I'm going to ask people this question every once in a while now to see what their initial reaction is. I had to think about it, but I would never grab a spoon.
It's the spoon on the box. The
I can't
box
even
has
believe we're still talking right now that I know that you use a spoon.
Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Welcome to another week of This Week at Notarize. And so this week at Notarize, we're celebrating the start of Women's History Month. And so all month long, we're going to celebrate the women who are making an impact at Notarize and helping move us into our future. And I'm very excited to have my first guest, who is our general counsel. It's Renee Hunter. Hey Renee.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful on this fine, what are we at, a Wednesday?
Yep.
Nice and sunny here in Metro Detroit.
Awesome.
Probably only about 36 degrees though.
36, that's pretty good.
All the snow is melting. I'm a little bummed.
Renee, you have been general counsel for a year now. You had your anniversary on, I think, Sunday, just a couple days ago. So congratulations.
Thank you.
What does it mean to be general counsel at Notarize?
Well, first, my anniversary is the 29th of February. So let's back up there for a second, which means that I now have an anniversary on a leap year. So I kind of know what those leap year babies feel like. As far as what it feels like to be general counsel at Notarize, I have to say Notarize is special. And when I say that, I sound like one of those parents who say every child is special, but we are special. We're not just a startup, but we're a startup that provides a legal software product. What that means is that we have to make sure we're doing everything in a compliant manner. Additionally, because Notarize is an innovator, and as we lead in a number of aspects, especially as it relates to providing notaries up-to-date digital tools to perform notarizations, it means we also need to lead in a compliant manner. So really, what does this mean? It means as general counsel, I'm not only talking about the traditional things that a general counsel would focus on. I know when I first walked in, everyone was like, oh, great, someone's here for all the corporate matters and the transactional work. But in fact, here at Notarize, because of what we're providing and how deeply ingrained we are, not only in the transactional workflow, but the product compliance, I'm responsible for risk, the compliance of the product itself, including any of its related compliance matters, government affairs, public relations, and now information security as well. Every company is unique, but at Notarize here as general counsel, that legal and compliance function is truly embedded in every single piece of our company. And Andrew, I know you know that well, because we're dealing with complex sets of laws that are set at a state level. We have a more unique aspect where legal counsel and compliance counsel does need to be part of pretty much any and every aspect here at the company, from marketing to the actual development of the product. So it means a lot more. And in the startup world, it is a little bit different because we are what I like to call legal tech, and we're servicing every industry from financial institutions to automotive industry. I mean, the list just keeps going on. So we need to make sure we have a compliant product and that it will withstand scrutiny.
Absolutely. And so, okay, so maybe it might not be your first anniversary, but we've made one trip around the sun with you as general counsel. What are the things that stand out most as you look back on the first year, beyond a lot of the crazy stuff that's happened kind of outside of our walls over the last year?
The year flew by. So the Renee Hunter back on February 29th in 2020, I had my little list of things I couldn't wait to take over and, change this, that, or the other thing. And I would say it's a pretty typical list for a general counsel who wants to kind of put their mark on the company and make the company their own a little bit. But that list was completely thrown out the window. Obviously, still making our mark and doing the things that need to be done. But what most people don't understand is when we experience a 600% growth, I think that's the number we put out, is 600% growth. It didn't mean that the legal team didn't have a ton of work to do. What people don't understand is that growing a platform to expand to 14 additional states with varying legal requirements in less than 7 months is not just a feat for the technologists, but also for the legal team and the compliance team. all the energy and effort that was going to go towards my to-do list was shifted to handling how are we going to roll out these states. We actually, we changed a number of ways that we operate as a business. So it was all hands on deck. And on February 29th, 2020, it was just myself and associate counsel. So it was the two of us for a little bit. Obviously, the team has expanded since then, and it does take a village to make sure we have a compliant product. But I think if you asked me in my wildest dreams what today would look like, I wouldn't tell you. I have 25 people reporting to me with 5 open roles and many more on the way. So I just look back and I had to smile and I kind of laughed because it is completely different, but it was very exciting and it went by really, really quickly.
It seems like startups, especially the ones that scale very quickly, face this challenge of like and versus or a lot, right? So I'm sure that you are confronted with those challenges quite often about, when to embrace and when to embrace or, and I'm wondering how you think about that or go about navigating those waters.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. And I think because I always want to go towards the or, that it is both. And I think that's the great part about Pat as the CEO and founder of this company is he understands that we are a legal product and service, that we need to be compliant with the state's laws, but that doesn't mean we can't continue to be innovative. And what are the next things on our list that we need to innovate around? So that is one of the things that drew me to Notarize is there's so much more out there, not going into details, but I light up about this, that it is an or, it doesn't need to be either we're going to be compliant here and that means we can't move forward elsewhere. It means there's actually other things out there to me that we can continue to innovate around in this industry and in other industries. So it's very exciting to me that I'm heard as general counsel, that our team is heard, that we understand there are compliance requirements and how can we build with those in mind and continue to be innovative. And I've probably seen the same thing over and over again, but it's just very exciting to me. So,
as I said at the top of the episode, it is Women's History Month. International Women's Day is coming up. Renee, is there a woman who has played an important or inspirational role in your career?
Well, Andrew, as I was telling you before we started filming, I thought a lot, this was one of the questions that it took me a while to think about. And I really did initially think, oh no, I don't just have one role model. But I actually think that's okay. It's been, not that I'm modeling my life after one person, I've never done that, but I've drawn my inspiration from a number of people. And as I was telling you, politics aside, the first time I really realized, I was in 4th grade and I had to do a report on Sandra Day O'Connor. Still, I don't know why I had to, but at that time I was going to be an art teacher. I thought that's what I wanted to do in my life. And for some reason, that was the pivotal moment where I was like, this is great. She was the first woman, on the Supreme Court. And that was one of those, I think it's those pivotal just moments as I think about who I am and why I am the way I am. It's just those little moments of seeing those role models, but not really saying I want to be that person or do exactly what they did, but I can do something just as cool and change the world just as much as they can. Clearly, I'm not on the Supreme Court or looking to make my way towards the Supreme Court. I think the other most important thing for me is that in addition to just those moments in time, obviously my mom, working since I was born, up until she just retired, but I've always surrounded myself and my closest friends are women who I would consider powerful women who in their own right, in their careers and their personal relationships, they may not have the same skills as me, but they are definitely powerful and, I don't want to say innovative, but innovative in their own right. So I think it's not just one, it's many. And I do draw from, I'm magnetized by people who are able to take something that is a status quo and change it. So.
Awesome. Renee, thank you so much for taking the time. I know there's a lot of stuff going on these days that requires your attention. We appreciate that you could give us just a couple minutes to talk about you and everything that you have going on. So thanks for taking the time. And for everyone else, we'll see you next week.
Thank you for inviting me. Bye, everyone.